Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Today we bring you some exciting news here from Tiger Media.
Let's begin with our first segment about cricket at AISD by Tomid and Rohan.
Hello, I'm Tomit.
And I'm Rohan.
Today we will be talking about the cricket team's ambition for AISD.
We will also be talking about the lineups and predictions for the upcoming middle school tournament.
And also to add on, we will also be talking about international cricket around the world. So to start off, AISD can take 13 people to a cricket game, but we have 16 people signed up now, so that means 3 people will get cut. Also, the core of the team will be experienced from last year. And also, we do have some inexperienced people this year, such as Jonas Hiram and Sam Lewis.
A fun fact is that AISD has only won 2 of the possible 16 DISA tournaments, which is only for high school, but that's a pretty bad record anyways, because considering it's our home ground, that's not a good record to keep. But I think it'll improve over time.
To start off, we have Sam. He came as an amateur and he's going away as a boy who can play every shot in good form. He's an amazing team worker and has great skills in overall.
Second, we have Umer, the idiot who came in but became one of the best slow bowlers on the team.
Yes, we have Umer. Next, Rohan Shah. He's a great spinner and has great form, but he just needs to work on his batting patience. He does sometimes want to bowl pace, but the team encourages him not to.
Next, you have Anuda, good pace bowler but just needs to work on his shot selection and footwork while batting. Next, we have Nazrul Islam. He's a big guy but can hit really far.
Next, we have Tomit Mahmood, decent fast bowler and a great pitch hitter. Actually, not even decent. He needs to work on his fast bowling a lot more, though he does hate bowling.
Yatin, bowler with an amazing pace and exhilarating bounce. Hits the deck hard and can scare the batsman with his swing, bounce and speed.
You know what, Rohan? I find Yatin one of the coolest players this year because of his improvement from last year. It's just outstanding.
Yeah, I agree.
Rishabh Dey, small guy, still needs to improve. Hasn't really done anything to help, except his throwing technique has actually become better.
We also have Payne Lomax, very arrogant, very cocky, rude with teammates, but at the end of the day, overall good player, and he's the captain of our team as well.
Max Mrida has a decent pace and decent batting skills, but really needs to improve. Even after 2 years on the AISD cricket team, he is still put into 13th position.
We also have Simon Ways. He's an amateur, but hits a few in the nets, and a great fielder.
Jonas Hiram, new kid, still has a long way to go, but has great fielding abilities. Is almost equal with Simon. Shashank, Mayank, and Sharaf Hussain. All 3 of these people need to improve drastically to get a chance on the team. And last of all, we have Irfan Chaudhary.
Irfan is amazing batting form and just has a height disadvantage.
That was an amazing video. Don't you think so, Rohan?
Yes, indeed. It really was interesting, and it showed how cricket is really important at AISD.
Next up, we have a segment called Daylight Halloween by Mayada and Prafna. I'm curious about this one.
With the attack of foreigners here in Dhaka, Bangladesh, all embassies, clubs and schools have taken security measures to make sure that all foreigners are safe. With all these security measures, having events like dances and Halloween carnivals have been restricted to indoors and no later than 6 p.m. Although these precautions were taken for safety, we were wondering what the students and teachers at AISD think of this. Having Halloween in daylight instead of nighttime is a very controversial topic between students and teachers. Let's see what the people of AISD have to say about it.
Ms. Reinhardt, what are your thoughts on Halloween being made in daylight?
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate. I mean, the whole idea is that Halloween's supposed to be a night of mischief, so no mischief at all can happen as it is during daylight. But for me with a 3-year-old, there are no really other options.
Sari, do you think that switching the Halloween to daytime was a good idea? And if so, what do you think other people will think of it?
I don't know that it was necessarily a good idea, because that implies that having it at night was a possibility. I think it's an alternative to not having it at all. We are not allowed to be on campus at night, so whether I or students in the different divisions think it's a good idea, I think is almost beside the point.
It doesn't matter if Halloween is daytime or night. What matters is that you have the right spirit for it and enjoy it, because in the end, it's not about when you're there. It's about who you're there with and how you choose to make memories together.
That video brought up some bad news about Halloween this year.
I wonder if this year's Halloween will be as good as last year. I really hope it is.
Let's continue the news with an informative segment about the history of Atari by Elias.
Video games have been a form of entertainment to the young and the experienced longer than there have been bands like The. Nowadays, it's a multi-billion-dollar industry filled with good times, bad times, and microtransactions. Microtransactions. But there's always a way to start everything, including the video game business of US of A. This is the story of Atari. Atari was founded in 1972 by Nolan Bushnell, the same year that him and his team at Atari had made the first arcade game set up in a local bar. They named the game Pong. The next day, people would complain about the machine not accepting their coins. That was because it was too full of change to accept anything else. Soon, Atari made millions producing many other arcade titles, such as Asteroids and Battlezone. Even when one of the most popular games made by Toto in Japan, Space Invaders, came to US in arcades, Atari bought the rights to the game and included it in its first console, the second console in the USA, the VCS. It was the first console to run on cartridges. Jeez, will kids these days even know what cartridges are? They're basically VHS tapes for games. Oh, who am I kidding? You probably don't know what those are either. They're like cassettes? Oh, forget it. You're probably gonna Google all this stuff anyway. I'll just move on. With all these billions flying everywhere, of course Big Apple breadwinners would come along. After buying the company in early 1977, Atari had to fire Bushnell and all their major programmers for reasons, ultimately leading to the destruction of Atari itself. Soon, low-quality game studios began publishing low-quality games for many years, causing the game crash of 1977. So while you sit there playing your Skyrims, CODs, and your LOLs, you must always remember our founding fathers that had built this great nation to what it is today. Thank you.
Wow, I've been playing video games my whole life and I never knew their origin.
Same, but at least people back then had video games. I don't know how people would live without them.
I might even try one of those games Atari made.
Well, let's keep going. Coming up next is a segment about the rise in cafeteria prices by Malachi and Rebecca.
Today we'll be talking about the rising cafeteria prices. We'll interview some teachers about why they think the prices are rising, and we'll interview some students about what they think about the rising prices and how that will affect what they buy at
What
the
do you think
cafeteria.
about the rising cafeteria prices?
Well, to be honest, I really don't think it matters. Here's the reason. Firstly, it's one incentive to discourage us from places like North End, which, while I have some guilty pleasures there, generally aren't exactly good for our health and well-being. Secondly, the school needs to make money, and while this cafeteria food is ridiculously good compared to a lot of the cafeteria food I've been used before. And thirdly, I feel that it was already pretty cheap anyway. I mean, they've not raised it to more than $5 a lunch, which is, frankly, I still think it's good for its value.
So why did the cafeteria prices rise?
Well, I'm not in charge of that, but I would assume it's to meet rising costs to make sure that we're still balancing our budget and paying all of our workers a good price.
Thank you. So why are the cafeteria prices rising by 10%?
Hi, media. Why are the cafeteria prices rising by 10%? I was presented with a proposal from the facilities manager, supported by the business manager. A year ago, the school took over operating that. And when we did that, we increased the number of employees to give better service. We made sure that they got only the very best fruits and vegetables and meats and condiments and everything. And we asked them to do more services. We also asked them to meet U.S. Embassy sanitary guidelines is the word I'm looking for, sorry. So with all of those pieces and the planning that we're doing for the new cafeteria that will open in a year, that costs more money and provides better service, but it costs more money, and hence we are raising the prices second semester. I was asked to raise them first semester when I came, but I said, no, that's too short of a notice. We want to give proper notice to people. And that is the answer that I have.
Okay, thank you for your time.
I hope this helps shed some light on the rising cafeteria prices.
I agree with the segment. The cafeteria prices are rising.
This makes you want to skip lunch and get a cookie. Maybe even two.
Okay, coming next is a segment by Osage and Samin. They focused on middle school boys soccer.
As you can see, these young, aspiring, and talented soccer players from 6th, 7th, and 8th grade are getting ready for yet another great year of decent soccer. Middle schoolers meet every Monday and Wednesday for practices to practice the fundamentals of soccer. First is passing. It is a crucial part of their practices and is considered a golden trick by Coach Morris and Coach Miller. To pass, you face your target and you hit the ball near the top with the inside of your foot. Second, dribbling. This is moving the ball with your feet. To do this properly, you need to push the ball, not kick. Lastly, it is shooting, and it is very important. This is kicking the ball fairly hard at the goal. These middle schoolers are packed with passion as they try their best to come out on top at the end of the tournament. We wish the Tigers a great season this year. So, what do you think about my segment?
Your segment was awesome, but honestly, I'm not a fan of soccer.
And you know what? I wonder if you can actually play the sport.
Okay. Before we go, let's remind everyone of the new security measures here in Dhaka with a segment by Shire.
I think it's really stupid they put blackout windows. Why would we even need blackout windows? We don't need police, we can protect ourselves, no one cares.
I think that's a measure that was agreed upon by the Bangladesh Police Department and the U.S. Embassy, and they feel it's in the best interests of the school, and so I agree with that. That was a measure, I believe, to keep anonymous the occupants of the bus. I understand it's difficult for the drivers to see out. It's a shame that this country's gotten to that point. I believe all measures taken are merely to protect the children.
What is your opinion on the new security measures taken by our school? What measures, huh? I'd rather go to these other places. I don't know, I don't really care about this school's safety and all that, because I can go through any of this. So what about the police guarding us? Shut up, just shut up, dude.
All those amazing segments made me scared, hungry, and now left me excited.
Yeah, I know, right? This sadly brings our episode to an end, but you can hope for more next week.
Well, that's it. I'm Rohan.
And I'm Tommy.
And I'm a sidekick.
And this.
Wait. Can I say it?
Yeah, sure.
And this is Tiger Media.